Welcome back to Chat Lab. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ethan. This is the podcast where thoughts are tested.
Today is the second part of our personality test. Today we're going to be going through the results and the different the different, I suppose, what you call them, subtopics, subsections of the personality type that we are. So there's, how you are in a workplace, with relationships, with
really breaking it down.
Children, strengths and weaknesses. This will probably be a really long episode as well. Last one was what? It was like an hour
40.
Yeah, an hour 40, hour 45.
Yeah, it was quite long. This one I feel mightn't be as long, but it will still be longer.
Yeah.
Obviously going to compare them to like how we're going to go through the percentages because they're accurate, I'd say. But let's see how the generic personality type really represents our actual day-to-day personality.
Yeah. So we have been talking, I suppose, this week, but still, how was your week?
Wasn't too bad. Okay, so when did we record last podcast? Last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday, yeah.
Since last Tuesday, did I have the tests on Wednesday or did I have them that day?
I have no idea.
I can't remember. That doesn't matter. Yeah, no, it's probably quite average. I did my first full week of work, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Glad I took the personality test last Tuesday because this week I actually do feel a little bit more extroverted. My social anxiety is dramatically decreased.
And
say the least.
So when it came to what was the problem you had again? You hadn't gotten something yet?
I hadn't. They didn't give me the right stuff to start with, so I kind of had to go and be awkward with management and things and be like, hi, I didn't get my things and it's my first day. Can you show me what to do? But they're actually really nice in there and it works out really well. So it's all good.
So was it kind of like you jumped in and then you were like, oh, that wasn't so bad?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is fine. But then the more days it went on, the better, more comfortable I was with, even when I didn't know the answer to someone if they asked me where something was. It didn't panic me as much. I was just like, all right, let's go for a walk and we'll find it. I didn't say that to them, but that's what I was doing.
What did you say to them?
I'd be like, oh yeah, that's over there. And I just walk there and I'm like, please be over here. And then if it's not, and if I really feel like I'm not sure, I'm like, 2 seconds, let me ask. And I just ask someone and they find it, show it to me. It's fine.
Yeah, I used to, I was very bad with it because, I don't know, I looked for almost anything to do, I didn't want people to be waiting, and I kind of looked for anything that would kind of give me something to do, that was a bit more exciting than packing shelves. This is when I was in Centra. And I think I did it a bit too quick to where it almost I don't know, seemed like I didn't listen, even though I did. But it was kind of like I remember someone asked if we had coconut milk or something, and I was like, I don't know. So I checked the fridge and I was like, okay, there's no coconut milk here. So I was like, all right, it's not in the fridge, so I'll have a look in the back for you. I looked in the back. I was looking for a good while. Not too long to where they were waiting forever, but then it came out and I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing in the back either. And she was saying how she thought there was and blah 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 blah. But that was one case where it didn't work out. But then other times I would be like, oh yeah, it's just right there.
Yeah, there's sometimes where I have to check the back, which in this specific place is a lot.
Yeah, mine was tiny and no,
but
messy.
This one is big and neat, so I actually know where stuff is and I can get there. But no, there was this lady yesterday and she asked me where something was, and I just brought down a trolley full of stuff from that section, and she was like, oh, do you know where this is? And I was like, yeah, no, we don't have any more of that. And she kind of looked at me blankly and I was like, yeah, I just brought down the trolley full of everything I need and it wasn't there. Kind of I'm not going to the back for you. I was just there. Please, go away.
Imagine if you actually said that as well.
And then she was like, oh, where is it normally? And I was like, there. And she was like, oh, there it is, and picked up something that wasn't it. And I was like, oh. And I was like, just go late. That was it. Sometimes it's just a bit weird.
Do you ever get something though? I've never had this where someone goes like, "Do you know where this is?" And there's like literally right behind them when they're asking you.
No, the unwritten rule of customers asking queries is they're not allowed to ask you about something in the section you're currently packing in. So if you're packing in like a cereal section, for example, they can't ask you a question about cereal. It's not allowed. Like they have to ask you about something on the other side of the store where you've never been ever.
Is that kind of like a rule
just
on the customer side or your side?
Yeah, no, it's like they always ask it. I swear it's like they fucking assemble, make sure to ask someone the furthest away possible. So annoying.
Yeah, I will say though that if I expect something to be like, if I'm, example, looking for a pencil where stationery is and there's no pencils, I'll go, sorry, do you know where the pencils are? And if I just happen to miss them, then okay, but they might be somewhere else.
Some people need a bit of like some people just want to know where, so like they'll come in and they just want to know where something is, so they'll just find someone like me and ask. So that's fine. Like they'll just meet me like in the junction of aisles, just be like, "Oh, you know where this is?" But some other times it'd be like they'd be kind of wandering around this random aisle for ages and then ask me, and I'm like, that's over here, and I'd walk for like 5 minutes in another direction. No, but on the flip side, some people are really nice. So like I checked the stock for this lady and there wasn't anything there. So I came down. By the way, the lift to go up and down, because there's no stairs, it's just a lift, and it takes forever. So I always feel bad because I'm like, I gotta check the back, and little do they know I'm gonna be a good 7 minutes because it takes about 5 minutes to get the lift up and down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, so we don't have any more of that. I'm so sorry. And she was like, no, thank you for checking. And like left, and I was like, you're not allowed to do that. What the hell?
You're not allowed.
Excuse me?
Is this allowed?
What is this, manners? What the hell?
I will say that
Sure.
I had a lift as well, but it was only for like products,
Stock deliveries.
yeah, stocks and products and stuff, stock and products. It wasn't for humans, so you'd throw it in, press the button, and then go down and pick it up the other side.
Yeah,
but you know, in terms of college, that's it. I'm just, yeah. I mean, from today especially, working. Yeah. I mean, doing a big project, which honestly I think is kind of ridiculous. That like a first year who doesn't really know much, especially like I'm tech savvy enough, so I just run into problems, whatever. But imagine someone who only has a phone, and it's their, they barely ever use any bit of technology. The best they can do is Netflix and YouTube, and like Word.
Yeah.
And then they're expected to program. Yeah. But the thing is that like we've only been doing this for one semester. It's not even like it's the end of the year, and we're only given a month. That.
You're starting with you're starting on the arse end of it. So like what you're doing, like I fully understand what you're doing, but I know you don't completely understand like exactly what everything does and where it does it. That's why I can help you, like, but that's because I've started building projects not with what you're doing. So Evan's building like a GUI application, and it's a kind of a whole other a whole other topic to tackle compared to like just console programming. So it's like you're battling two challenges at once,
because you have to design and then you also have to program.
So you don't really understand the core concepts. You just kind of have to go for it, and it really turns out for, so like you get an end product, but like in terms of if I asked you in a month's time, what does this specific thing do, you'd probably be like, you'd probably read it and guess. But like if I took away the names, you'd be like, I don't know. Like if I told you what does this generic thing do, you'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
because you're not being taught the concepts. You're just being given a project.
Yeah, and it's only a month, and it's our first semester, and it just seems a bit weird to me. It didn't dawn on me until now that I'm 6 days away from submission until the due date, and I'm like, I keep hitting roadblocks. And do you ever get that feeling where whatever emotion it may be, sadness, anger, or whatever, frustration, it's so overwhelming that it actually feels like a wall.
Yeah.
Like I hit a roadblock and then my brain and my emotions hit a wall, and like it's like when if you bottle up anger, it's like that kind of feeling. Is that like
Yeah, blood boil.
it's just
You're like, oh no.
yeah, but it's
That's when you go for a walk.
it just
To the fridge, around the block, you go for a walk.
yeah, but then I come back and I hit another roadblock and it happens again.
Yeah, and then you go for another walk.
Now
Get coffee maybe.
the way it works for me is I call you, you tell me something, it clicks, and then I go, oh, and then I do that. I do the whole thing until I hit another roadblock.
Yeah. So how do you think you would have tackled this without a server full of programming nerds at your disposal?
I don't know, because Google hasn't been the best of help. I will say though that the start is like, it's the user login. That was easy. I used a little bit of you guys. I watched like a video and I used a little bit of Stack Overflow, and then I also used a small bit of just trial and error for myself. And it worked out well. I was very happy. I was like, oh, this would be easy. A whole 30 days left to do this, no problem. And then I just hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Especially today and yesterday, I hit loads.
So, like, you think programming is like, oh, you'll just be able to write more complex code and stuff, but it's just becoming better with what you're dealing with. That's what it is. It's like hitting that wall and going, fuck. And just go for a walk. You learn how to Google better. You do it quicker, and you don't get as frustrated when you run into a roadblock, and that's kind of what the exposure to it for a long period of time does.
Mm.
I'm not going to sit here and talk about like I did it on my own either. Like, I have people that are in like years above me for advice. Everyone does. If you don't, you're at a disadvantage. But
yeah, I just don't understand as well, because I feel like I'm the only one hitting like this roadblock and having this overwhelming pressure
out of your course.
Yeah, because like we have a group chat, right? And you get these people going, oh, this isn't working, what's the problem? Here's a bit of code or something, or someone else will go, here's a bit of code, try that, see what happens. Oh, you forgot to put an end if, blah 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 blah. But it still feels like I'm so behind. Even the people that I know probably wouldn't be super tech savvy are still like doing, it seems like they're doing better, but that could just be me going,
it's just you. Trust me, dude. If you actually like had a one-on-one with any of them, they'd be like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Trust me, dude.
I did say, I said something and someone replied that they were having the same problem or something like that. Oh, I said, yeah, I keep hitting so many roadblocks, and someone was like, yeah, same. And I suppose maybe it's just because people aren't being vocal about it. Maybe that's why. Other than asking for help in this part and this part, overall, I'm like, ugh! So anyway,
just gonna comment on it. Well, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the personality types.
Okay.
Let's just start by saying the type, because that comes into the percentages. So we have results in front of us here of percentages on which way we sway on, what is it, five sections. So like, well, the first one being extroverted and introverted, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, we'll just do the type. What type are you?
I'm an entertainer.
Is that like the where it says at the tag?
So I'm like, as in your personality type is, I'm an entertainer. My code thing is either ESFPA or ESFPT. One is, I can't remember what they're called. Oh, it's assertive or turbulent are my two possibilities, because they're. I'll go into that. That's the last percentage anyway. So entertainer. I fit the bill. What can I say? Especially when we go into the descriptions, you'll see.
Right, yeah, I haven't read my description, by the way, so blind reaction, but I just, like, I know what to pick from, but I haven't actually fully read it.
I went through some of it and was like an underlying stuff that was like, that's wrong. Oh, but that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so starting with the first one, which way do you swing, introverted or extroverted?
I
And
am
by how much?
extroverted. 58% extroverted.
Oh wow, so it's actually quite close.
Surprisingly, actually, yeah, because I'm quite extroverted generally, but
Yeah, I believe
there
that,
would
yeah.
be times where I want time to myself, or a small group of people, or anything like that, where I want quiet
Yeah.
and peace. So I think that's where that came down to, depending on which like how strongly I felt about agree or disagree. That's where that kind of evened out a little bit.
Yeah, no, I just never like. Obviously, it makes sense to me that you would be an extrovert. It's just I never put it in place, but it makes perfect sense. You don't shy away from conversation at all, really. But that moves into the flip side, which is me. So I am an introvert of 72%.
Makes sense, yeah.
Makes sense, yeah.
But see, the problem is as well, right?
I have a little bit of kick in my arse, so sometimes I will do it, and that's kind of proven with like the job. Like I go in and do it. I won't try and hide away, even though sometimes I really want to.
Yeah, but see, the thing is a lot of the questions we're talking about talking to people, like for like straight up just going up to someone and talking. Whereas if I'm like at a party, or if I'm like chances are the first thing I'll do to make friends, or in quotes make
friends for the night,
make small talk, it would be in
right.
form of dance.
Right,
like even just
right.
hopping up and down or messing about.
But I think like the abstraction of that is communication.
Yeah,
so
it's,
you're going to be letting them notice you in a certain way.
Yeah, it's just
whether it happens to be dancing or
all
talking.
of the questions had to do with talking, and sometimes that's not my strong suit. Whereas sometimes I'd rather go up to someone and have a laugh with them. Though. Yeah, I mean, it still got me right on the basis of the fact that I'm mostly extroverted, but sometimes I like my alone time.
Yeah, right. So the next one here, or do you want to take it?
I'll take it. Energy. How we direct our mental energy. What are you? Or it's sorry. The two things are observant and intuitive.
Right. So I am intuitive by a weighting of 66%. Oh. See, like obviously, I guess it adds up in the quiz, but I'm quite observant. Like I do tend to just work through things and figure them out, but I guess 30%, 35% observant, I guess is fair. Because like sometimes I'd have this regret of like when I have to do something on my own, I'm like, I really should have just paid attention to what was going on there about 5 minutes ago. But then I figure it out. So I guess intuition is probably my strongest out of the two.
Yeah. I'm 54% observant.
Again, close.
Very close again.
How are you gotten? I suppose you picked neutral for a few, right?
There was like
that wouldn't really swing it.
There was only 2 or 3. I think it's because
Yeah.
when you don't go strongly either way,
it kind of puts you in the. I was very strong, so I got a lot more polarizing answers.
Yeah, I did get more polarizing answers than the rest of them.
Oh, okay. Not really to be said there for that intuition and observant one, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on.
I couldn't think of examples, so yeah.
The next one, which is thinking and feeling. What is your weighting?
Hold on. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions.
I don't have that. So
okay. I'll cut out the titles and you do the rest. Okay. I am 72% feeling.
Hey, 74% feeling. Yeah, I agree. I do think a lot, but it doesn't tend to weigh on my decision.
That's what we were saying last podcast. Is that or last episode? Is that it's a lot of thinking, but it really boils down to at the end how you feel.
Yeah.
If I think one way, but at the end I feel another, I'll go the way I'm feeling rather than the way I'm thinking. So that makes sense, because the majority of the sway would come to feeling. Do you have anything else to say about that?
Literally nothing.
I suppose, yeah. We've talked about that a lot in the last episode, to be
Yeah.
fair. We really touched on that.
Check that out if you haven't seen part 1.
You shouldn't really be watching this if you haven't. Or listening to this even. Tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. I'll just call it the thing you call it, though.
Yeah. So the two options here is judging and prospecting. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
70.
So I am.
Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you were.
74% prospecting.
76% judging. Yeah. So polar opposites here. Hey, what was the title for this again?
Reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. I think that basically
what would
means that
prospecting mean?
I'm more breezy and you're more thinking.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, we'll take it then.
Which
Yeah,
is exactly how it is.
yeah, it's exactly how it is.
So judging would be more like you think about it a bit deeper, and prospecting is more like, I'd imagine.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's perfectly accurate.
Hold on, we'll look it up properly. Search for nope, that's a verb. I don't know. Either way. Identity. The trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions.
So, the two options here are assertive and turbulent.
Now,
you are.
turbulent is conflict, disorder, or confusion, not stable.
Indecision and decision, I think, would be easier titles to go by.
Yeah, and then assertive is confident. So if you're confident in your decisions, you'd be.
Oh, and self-doubt when you.
Yeah, so it's basically
yourself.
Confident or doubt.
Security and insecurity.
Yeah.
How many different synonyms can we give?
67% turbulent.
Oh, okay, all right. We swung the same way. I'm 82% turbulent.
Am I that inconfident?
You might be. It's your head, bro. It's not like I definitely know. Like I will hold to my guns on the outer shell, but I am 100% second guessing every second. It's every second thing I do. 100%.
I think that's down to the mistakes thing. The mistakes and regrets, maybe.
Maybe.
Because I did say I would like to change some things. Okay. So that's as far as the percentages go. Now we can go into the strengths, I suppose.
Right, and your title was an advocate?
Yours is an advocate, mine's entertainer.
I'm an advocate.
You're an advocate.
Okay.
What's your code? Do you know your code?
INJFT.
How?
So it's just
T. I think T is turbulent.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then A is assertive.
So the way they're laid out, basically, the reason why I say this might be a long episode is because we have strengths, weaknesses, parenthood, relationships, and workplace, and then we have a bit of a conclusion, I guess, as well.
Huh.
So
advocates are the rarest personality types of all. Okay. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't have the intro. I just have the strengths thing.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine. I just thought that was funny to mention. Yeah, you can start with the strengths if you want.
All right. Bold. That's what I am. Entertainers aren't known for holding back, wanting to experience everything there is to experience. People with the entertainer personality type don't mind stepping out of their comfort zones when no one else is willing.
Jeez. My first strength is creative. Advocate personalities enjoy finding the perfect solution for people they care about. To do this, they draw on their vivid imagination and their strong sense of compassion. This can make them excellent counselors and advisors.
I would say you're a good advisor.
Thank you.
Like if I have a problem and I come to you, chances are you're good at listening and also
talk
helping.
to you about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They rarely disregard a problem. So yeah, I guess I take most things to heart. So getting a bit more insecure as this goes on.
Yeah. This one's great. This one's true. I'm original. What can I say? Traditions and expectations are secondary to entertainers, if a consideration at all. Entertainer personalities love to experiment with new styles and constantly find new ways to stick out in the crowd.
Yeah, true.
I'd say that's
silver hair.
True. Yeah, silver hair. Well, at least it didn't go neon green.
Okay, okay. My next strength is insightful. Advocates, they typically strive to move past appearances and get to the heart of things. This is a recent thing, actually, because I was very self conscious about my appearance. I'd say up until about second year, so when I was about 14, so that's fine. I guess that's the thing I properly moved past. This can give them an almost uncanny ability to understand people's true motivations, feelings, and needs. So that kind of plays into my empathy.
Yeah.
And
But what I
even when
find
I have
weird,
literally no idea.
what I find weird is that you're more judging, but then when it comes down to your strength, you're not judging at all.
Yeah, so it's like I'm more judging, but I'm a lot more empathetic as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's a mix.
Judging's more of a weakness, to be completely honest.
True.
Because that can really ruin your opinion on someone if you're too judgy.
Okay. This next one is aesthetics and showmanship.
All right.
Oh, I went away. Not stopping at mere outfits, entertainers inject artistic creativity into their words and actions too. Every day is a performance, and entertainers love to put on a show. I don't know. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I'd say you're the life cycle of a party, but that's like down to you and nobody else.
I mean, I was
And
the only
in
one.
general,
I was
you
the
know,
only one
like
singing
your
at Zone's
fashion and
18th.
stuff. Yeah.
I was literally like
you
the only one.
You definitely put yourself in there, like.
Yeah, for sure.
My third strength is principled. So tend to have deeply held beliefs, and their conviction often shines through when they speak or write about subjects that matter to them. Advocates can be compelling and inspiring communicators, with their idealism persuading even the hardest of skeptics. I am not a very good persuader, I don't think.
See, I am, so that's weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm known as a chancer. That's like one of my traits, is a charmer and a chancer. Not on this, but you know.
Yeah.
But I would say
I thought principled would have been more structured, and that would have made more sense. But I definitely I couldn't talk my way out of anything. I could try. I could probably have a very strong discussion with someone and lay out the facts, but I would never try to persuade them because it's a tried and tested method that I can't do. Because it ends up being way too long and it never works for me. So I don't try to persuade people.
You just have to annoy them enough to where they say yeah.
Yeah. That period of annoying them, too long for me. I couldn't be bothered.
That's where the showmanship comes into play.
There you go.
I'm practical. To entertainers, the world is meant to be felt and experienced. Truth is stranger than fiction, and entertainers prefer to see and do, than to wax philosophical about what? Than to wax philosophical about what ifs. I don't know what that means, but I think it's basically just saying that
You're more of a hands-on guy.
yeah.
I get, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would say so.
I never have a conversation where you've only talked about something in theory. Even when it's like some form of hobby, you're already in the process of buying something to do with that hobby.
Yeah.
You can't just like have the theoretical aspect of it. You're like, no, I need to like do it myself. Which is fair.
I suppose that's true.
Passionate is my next one. So advocates can pursue their ideals with a single mindfulness that they may catch others off guard with. Their personalities rarely settle for good enough, and their willingness to disrupt the status quo may not please everyone. That said, advocates' passion for their chosen cause is a key aspect of their personality.
I will say you very rarely settle for less than great.
Yeah, I never that comes into me never half-arsing something. I just couldn't live with myself.
Yeah, like you never just try to just get past something. You're always trying to go the extra mile to make sure that it's not just
even when I get literally no
breezing.
benefit for it as well.
Yeah, and
it's just it's an integrity thing, kind of, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Breezy over here.
There you
So
go.
I know all
Shit.
about it. What you do?
Knocked my water bottle. It's okay. We move.
Excellent people skills. More so than things, though, entertainers love to pay attention to people. They are talkative, witty, and almost never run out of things to discuss. For people with this
true.
personality type, happiness and satisfaction stem from the time they spend with people they enjoy being with. I'll say I'm witty.
I'd say that's true. I think you take great, like, you can deal with yourself, but you take a lot of enjoyment out of being with other people as well. And you always strive to kind of have those meetups even when you're down. And I know that's just because you're down, but like, yeah, you're very extrovertedly energized, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's everybody else, but I feel like it might sound a bit sad to say though. You're not as bad for it, but I feel like I would always, not always, but sometimes be the one to make the plans, or to text first type thing. So I suppose that comes from like I want to be with people.
Yeah, I think so.
I am very talkative anyway.
Here's a word I've never heard of. Altruistic.
Altruistic.
Or altruistic.
Altruistic sounds a bit. Yeah.
Advocates generally aim to use their strengths for a greater good. They rarely enjoy succeeding at other people's expense.
Yeah.
They tend to think about how their actions affect others, and their goal is to behave in a way that will help the people around them make a world a better place.
So what that word means is basically unselfish. I looked it up.
All right.
So you are disinterested in, and you're selfless when it comes to the well-being of others. There you go. That's what the description said anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, people specific here, but yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, people specific. Okay, weaknesses, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sensitive. Entertainers, especially turbulent ones. That's me, guys. That's me. I'm the turbulent one. Are strongly emotional and very vulnerable to criticism. Yeah, they can feel like they've been backed into a corner, sometimes reacting badly. This is probably entertainers' greatest weakness because it makes it so hard to address any other weakness brought to light. Yeah.
Yeah, my first weakness is sensitive to criticism.
I would say.
Yeah. So
a lot of people are, but I would say that
this is definitely true for me.
Yeah, I think
like it's less so than before, than like when I was younger, but it's definitely still there.
Yeah. See, the thing is, mine isn't like specifically criticism. Like as far as strongly emotional, yeah. I mean, if it comes to disliking someone, chances are I'll be quite strongly feeling. I'll feel quite strongly about it. There we go. And if I love somebody, I'll feel the same very strongly about it. So yeah, and if I feel something, it does kind of take over sometimes, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah.
And then criticism does kind of, yeah, it's not great, but nobody likes it.
Yeah, it says like I don't like criticism, and I can become defensive, especially with issues that are near to their hearts, which I agree with. Like the more I care about something, it's not like the less open I am to criticism. It's more like I really take how people say their criticism to me, how they present it. So if they just kind of
your man with the hair, like
if they're very just like they kind of sound like they're shitting on you, I guess, but they're just trying to give you constructive criticism, I will take it as they're shitting on me if it's like something that really matters to me, because I'm trying to keep it as like best as I can.
Just see you with your hair and your glasses.
I don't really have a face.
All that like. Swear
all
you
like
jazz. See you with the hair and all.
Yeah.
Conflict averse. Is that averse, right? I don't know. Sure. Entertainers sometimes ignore and avoid conflict entirely. They tend to say and do what's needed to get out of such situations, then move on to something more fun. No, I like conflict.
I disagree heavily.
Yeah, I get into conflict.
You will always take up an argument if it's there.
Yeah.
Not with me. Not specifically with me. With
Well,
anybody.
it's worse.
You'll never.
It's worse. It's worse with you because we're both stubborn. So when it comes to you,
Yeah.
it's like none of us back down.
Yeah, it gets a
Honestly,
bit ugly,
honestly, a lot of
nonetheless.
our friend group are all stubborn. So it's all of us. Like, you know,
Yeah.
no matter who you get into an argument with, chances are it won't end. No, I don't try to get out of them either. I usually try to win them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's completely wrong.
Yeah, I guess like in terms of myself, I used to be very the same as you, but I've more so just like I'll really diffuse the situation more now, just because I really couldn't be bothered wasting my emotional energy on it.
If I feel emotionally strong about it, I won't back down. But if I'm not too bothered, then I'm like, shut up. Shut up,
It
man.
depends. Like it would have to be really something bothersome, and I wouldn't even get fully into an argument. I just tell them like that's really fucked up and stop talking, about it.
Nah, your thing is
But,
passive aggressiveness. That's your thing.
Yes,
I've been on the back end way too many times.
The start of that has definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I've gotten that way too many times.
Yeah, I mean, me and you both, bro.
Hey.
Me and you both. My next weakness is I'm reluctant to open up. Advocates value honesty, but they're also private. They may find it difficult to open up and be vulnerable about their struggles. This might also be because they think they need to solve their problems on their own, but don't want to burden other people with their issues. When advocates don't ask for help, they may inadvertently hold themselves back or create distance in their relationships. Yes.
So do you want to open up about your passive aggressiveness?
Yes. Oh, it's definitely there. I've actually gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot better about opening up about my problems, as in, like, something I don't find well, because let me lay down the dynamic here, right? So I have 3 college friends. Okay, Connor and Kuba for reference. 3 of us all in the call.
That's two. That's 2 friends.
Yeah, myself is my own friend. So the 3 of us are in a call, and we're all strong-headed and we're passionate about our course, and we like passively aggressively try to compete with each other, like who gets better. Like it doesn't really matter, but it will bother you if you don't get as well. And it used to be very bad before, but I've gotten a lot better at just saying, yeah, I have no idea how to do this, and getting to that problem. Or I guess if they make a joke or a passive aggressive comment, like, like saying like, oh, you're not the best at this, I'm like, oh yeah, I fully agree, I'm terrible at this. Like I'll be kind of honest about it. Whereas before I was very reluctant to ever admit I was bad at something. But stemming more into the emotional side and not the professional side, I do find it difficult to open up. Like I definitely try to find the right time, which can sometimes be the not time. So by that I mean, like if I feel like I want to talk to someone about something, I'll go, not right now. Like I won't say that, but like sometimes I will. But sometimes I'll be like, not right now. In my head, I don't want to bother them right now. Talk about this later.
You see,
and sometimes I do feel like I need to solve my problems on my own.
See, sometimes I'm given a problem, and I go, like, not my problem. So like I've been shown or heard or something about someone else's problem, and sometimes I think it's better to stay quiet, and if they need you, they'll come to you, type thing, because if they're trying to forget, you're only reminding them, and if they want to figure out their own, they're not figuring it out on their own anymore. You're just bothering them.
Exactly.
But if they need the help, I suppose then they'll come to you. So I tend, unless someone comes to me with a problem and we dive into the problem there and then, I might like help or be there for them. But if it's just like this is the facts, and then they just don't talk about it, chances are I won't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because then, well, you're only stirring the pot. There's no point.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I've definitely become a lot better at reaching out for people with help. So
yeah, you with your lanky arms.
reaching out to everybody.
Oh, dad jokes. Easily bored.
I agree.
Ding ding ding. Without constant excitement, entertainers find ways to create it themselves. Risky behavior, self-indulgence, and pleasures of the moment over long-term plans are all things entertainers get into a little too often. Hobbies. I call it ADHH, I think. Did I call it? Or ADH or something like that? No. HAD? Hobby attentive disorder. I think I made it up for myself because I wanted a name for it. Where I know it's probably not great to steal someone else's thing, but you know what I mean. Where it's basically the fact that hobbies are I don't know, change. They're it's like changing socks for me. It's all the time. I never.
Yes.
I can't stick to one and make it
and see it through.
Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back in a couple of months
later though.
But I won't stick. If I start making music, I'll make music for I'll be heavily into it for a month, and then I won't come back to it for another 4 months because I'm off doing designing, or I'm off doing this or whatever. Same with games. I mean, I was heavily into Rocket League. I haven't played that in weeks.
Exactly.
You know, it's just the way things go. I don't know. So easily bored, 100%. That was true.
Speaking of true things, my next one is perfectionistic. Advocate personality type is all but defined by idealism. While this is a wonderful quality in many ways, an ideal situation is not always possible. Advocates might find it difficult to appreciate their jobs, living situations, or relationships if they're continually or relationships if they're continually fixating on imperfections and wondering whether they should be looking for something better.
I haven't read out loud in ages. It's same. I can't read them.
I feel like I'm reading a movie trailer. I apologize, but I too haven't read out loud in ages. So I agree with this because it's not that bad.
It's same. Okay. You don't settle
difficult
for less.
To appreciate their. Yeah, I don't settle for less. My relationships. As in friendships and intimate relationships and family members and stuff. No, I don't think there's imperfections. I usually fixate on those. But for kind of myself and what I do from day to day, yeah, it's more of a self thing than a other people thing. So
yeah,
it's definitely a problem though.
I wouldn't say it's anything relation wise, but definitely in your work.
I don't really focus on the imperfections of you,
my perfect imperfections.
How I can improve you. You get it's a bit weird.
There's no way to improve me. I'm an entertainer, baby. Poor long-term planner. Okay. In fact, entertainers. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, it's funny.
What?
Go on. I want to hear it.
No, cough it up.
It's just no.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I see it with the coding and stuff as well. You're very just I'm doing this. Let's go. I'm like, hold on. Let's do the next step for it. Just have a roadmap. You're very yes, let's go. So
anyway, in fact, entertainer personalities rarely make detailed plans for the future. To them, things come as they come, and they rarely bother with taking the time to lay out steps and consequences.
Here you go.
It's basically just what you said, with the belief that they could change at any moment, even with things that can be planned. I'd say the last part is probably wrong. I don't think that things can just change.
Yeah.
And I do plan if they can be planned, depending on what it is. But I just
that's just a breeze.
Literally, I was reading it out I don't take the time to lay out the steps, and there you are telling me I don't lay out the steps.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. This one now, I'm not too sure about. This one says avoiding the ordinary. Advocate personalities tend to be motivated by a sense of having a greater purpose in life. Okay. They might consider it tedious or unnecessary to break their big visions into small, manageable steps. Hugely disagree. but they may be setting themselves up for frustration if they don't turn their dreams into everyday routines and to-do lists. Without these specifics, their goals may never materialize. This is 100% the antonym of me. I'm so ordinary. I plan out everything. I break everything into small steps.
Quoted, I'm so ordinary.
I am. I'm like, that episode of SpongeBob where he turns round?
Yeah.
Bro, that's me. It's so boring, but it's me.
I'm so ordinary.
I always set up my stuff into small, manageable steps. I put them into routines and to-do lists. That's been me for I don't know how long. My goals, I'm not going to say my goals materialize, but I get there. I don't just go, I want to do this. And okay, looking at the whiteboard of stuff I need to do that I haven't gotten around to, but that's different. It's more like if I need to do something, it's going to be integrated into my routine. Especially now that I need to balance like part-time work in college. Like I need a routine and I know that and I'm doing it. So I hugely disagree with that as a weakness.
Fair enough. Kind of agree with that. Unfocused. Anything that requires long-term dedication and focus is a particular challenge for entertainers. Same with the board thing. Like, hobbies, games, everything. In academics, dense, unchanging subjects like classical literature are much more difficult than the more dynamic, relatable subjects like psychology. I will say I preferred English and stuff like that rather than economics and maths and things like that. Things that got my brain moving and working, I preferred. History was great too because it was that's because the teacher
anyway
said it like a story.
You didn't like the big hard things.
Yeah. The trick for entertainers is to find day-to-day joy in broader goals and to tough it out with those tedious things that must be done. Yeah, that's true. I'd rather
Yeah, I agree. Not much to say there, but I agree. Yeah.
I'm unfocused, especially when it comes to academics. But in terms of hobbies, I'm definitely unfocused. And then, because as I'm focused while I'm doing it, but then I lose focus on that specific hobby. Same thing as I get bored from that specific hobby. But it's less that I'm bored and more that I do lose focus and lose interest. It's not necessarily that I'm going, oh, this is so boring and I'm still doing it. But academics, I don't like dense, unchanging subjects for sure. Like English allowed me to use my brain and my creativity to be like, maybe this is what they meant.
Which is funny because that's kind of how programming is.
What is?
Interestingly enough, it's a dynamic, ever-changing environment with a lot of room for interpretation.
Yeah, but it's not as creative to me. The GUI part is, but then when it comes to like the dense...
No, but like in a kind of an abstract point of view, like it is a creative from a design perspective of the programs and stuff.
If you know how to do it.
You can... Yeah, okay, there you go. I mean, if you
know
probably learned how to do it, you'd probably really take interest in it.
Yeah, probably.
But here's one that is, funnily enough, prone to burnout. Remember a couple weeks ago I had a big thing about how not to get burnt out?
I think so.
Yeah. Alright, okay, it was on the podcast, but that's fine. Advocates perfectionism and reserves may leave them with a few. There's my passive aggressiveness. A few options for lighting off steam. People with this personality type can exhaust themselves if they don't find a way to balance their drive to help others with necessary self-care and rest. Yes. I am prone to burnout, so I am taking big strides in preventing it this semester. But usually, yes, if I don't structure myself and I don't give myself time off, I'm burnt out, dude.
See, my problem is that I need to give myself time to work. Very opposite of you.
Yeah,
that's just.
It's just the. Yeah, I just have a kick in my arse. It's like, you got to do it, bro. And
I get that, and I go,
maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I get that, but it's always the latter. It's never the first thing. Anyway, what's next? Workplace?
So we have romantic relationships, friendships, parenthood, career paths, workplace habits, and conclusions. So I suppose we can skip through these and just pick a few ones that would be the most interesting. Workplace habits would probably be one of those.
Yeah, we can do workplace.
And career paths, maybe. We'll do workplace first.
Yeah. I screen capped one entire paragraph. The entire thing is true to me.
Okay.
So, will I go?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless of what position entertainers find themselves in at work, they share a desire to make the environment as friendly and enjoyable as possible. People with the entertainer personality type are able to take a social and relaxed attitude and use it to get everyone else on board with practical tasks that just need to get done. The more freedom entertainers have to meet these needs, the better the results, so long as they know what the goal is. That part is very true. And there's hardly a better personality type to have around in a dynamic, hectic work environment. I will say in Specsavers, contrasted to Zentra, was the freedom. This is why that part is very true. The freedom to be my energetic self, my talkative self.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the nature of the job as well. I was more free in Specsavers, and then I preferred the work, and the goals were always met. So,
right.
That is, 100% me, I'd say.
Mm.
If I have the freedom, chances are it'll get done. If I'm having fun, it'll get done. Hey, that's it. If I'm having fun, it'll get done. I should make that like my slogan on my CV. If I'm having fun, it'll get done. Just send it around.
Yeah, I'm just kind of picking away at this big block of text. So it's just a general introduction here. Subordinates and colleagues, managers. So it's kind of 4 subsections here. I'm just going to pick something out. The first one is it says advocates tend to drive when they have opportunities to express their creativity and insight, and they're especially motivated when they know what they're doing, when they know that what they're doing has meaning. They also tend to do best when they can ignore workplace politics and hierarchies and simply do what matters to them. Most people with this personality type prefer not to think about themselves as above or below anyone else, no matter where they are in the job ladder. Yes. So, yeah, I tend to just it's kind of, this could be interpreted differently, but the way I see it is, like, I can be motivated when I know what I'm doing has meaning, and I guess that means like it doesn't have to mean like all the world for anything. It just, as long as I know like I have a responsibility given to me, I feel a lot more passionate about doing it.
Yeah.
So that's in contrast to like this year, my work compared to last year, whereas last year I felt a lot more not disposable, what's the word? Expendable.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, even though I'm probably just as expendable, I feel like I have a bit more of a responsibility for me, and I like that way more. And yeah, I don't really think about hierarchies too much at all, really.
Well, you should. Wake up.
Right. Yeah. I just kind of like people, I guess. I don't know. Like I like, just when I'm working with someone, I kind of like getting to the problem and doing whatever's at hand. Don't really care if they're whoever.
Yeah.
I guess moving into subordinates, just having a look. It says advocates value cooperation, sensitivity, and independence. Absolutely. So, it says as employees, they tend to gravitate towards managers who are open-minded and willing to consider their input. Yeah, I guess that just means managers that are nice.
Yeah.
More so than, yeah. Advocate personalities may become frustrated when they feel unheard. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely feel like if I don't have a say, even if I don't have a say, as long as I feel like I have a say, I'm fine.
But what
like
if you feel like you have a say but nobody listens?
I guess then I wouldn't have a say. Technically.
Yeah.
Because if nobody listens, my say doesn't get put in.
Haha, you fell for my trick.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't actually notice. I thought you were trying to trick me, as in like stump me on my opinion, not trick me into saying the same thing.
Oh, no. No, yeah. Okay.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of says here that like I can adapt to basically any role, really. as in like try to find the enjoyment out of whatever I'm doing, which I guess can be true. Advocates can be quite popular and well respected. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, imagine you being popular.
built like an Ethernet cable, motherfucker.
Built like an Ethernet cable. Is that why they named you Ethan, is it?
Oh man, yeah, it stands for Ethernet, man.
Ethernet.
Yeah. It says this they're positive, elegant, and capable co-workers. I agree. Like I'm generally a nice person to cooperate with.
I can vouch.
Oh, among their greatest strengths is their ability to identify others' motives and diffuse conflicts and tension before anyone else gets a sense of disturbance. Sometimes, like, if I see some people getting angry, I'll try and change the topic. Like two people, like, getting kind of not angry at each other. Well, they're getting there, but, like, they're kind of getting annoyed at each other. I'm like, hey, well, let's do something else, okay? Fuck, stop. I don't need this. We're trying to do something here.
I suppose, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else in your big paragraph?
Oh, this is like 12, 20 paragraphs here.
What?
But
I got like 3 or 4 max, I think.
no, this is huge.
Maybe I just didn't screen cap.
Although they tend to be warm and approachable colleagues, advocates are still introverts. From time to time, they may need to step back and work alone, pursuing their own goals in their own ways. Yes, like I will talk to you, but I'd prefer not to. Like it's nothing to do with you. I just prefer to do my own thing. Thank you very much.
There's the introvert coming through.
Yeah, it's more of a rather than shy. It's more reserved. I like to say.
I think like, introvert isn't.
I will talk.
Shy.
I will talk. Yeah, like I will talk to you if you talk to me, but I'm perfectly comfortable with not talking to you at all. If you want that, but like if you talk to me, I will talk to you back. I won't just be like saying minimal words, very like shy. I'll have a conversation with you. Just I won't initiate it.
Yeah, I think that's part of why I got a lot of introverted like percentages is because it's not necessarily that I'm shy, it's more that I can be reserved. I'm very rarely shy.
I like this. So like advocates as managers, so like not just subordinates, so they prefer to empower their subordinates to think and act independently and treat them as equals. They work hard to encourage others not to crack the whip.
Yeah.
I haven't really been in many places where I'm like a team leader. Not recently anyway. Like I had it in Scouts, I guess, but like ages ago and not that important.
Yeah.
I guess I had been like, in like those like CS:GO teams we had before, but wouldn't really consider them proper workplace leaders. That's not to say advocates have low standards, far from it, absolutely as well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I actually got to that part. I think I just kind of took part that I saw was like true and was like, yeah. And then it does say in any position, so I was thinking like, well, it's right anyway.
Yeah.
It says regardless of the position, so worked out.
Yeah. That's that.
We can go on to parenthood. I have 1 paragraph again. That's true.
Right.
So discipline is far from their strongest suit. True. But hindsight and maturity.
Oh, this is them like being parents. Okay,
yeah.
right,
Now,
okay.
I'm not a parent, but I feel like if I
Neither
was a parent or with, see, the problem is that like with kids that aren't mine, I'd be less likely to enforce rules on them because they're not mine and I don't do babysitting.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
the rules, like their parents will be here, so there's no point in me putting rules on them. I can just, go, hey, your child's being annoying. And they'd be like, hey, stop. I'm not going to do it. So, but if it was my kid, this makes sense, yeah. But discipline would not be my strongest suit. I'd be letting them get off, like, they'd be getting off with everything. Like, if they wanted, to do whatever they wanted, go ahead. Honestly, like, but hindsight and maturity have their effects, and entertainers are often keen to prevent their children from suffering the same hurts and setbacks they themselves experienced. This is true for myself. I would say it's true for my parents as well. In terms of, I did this, you don't do this. But they don't say it like that. They just kind of, They raise me in a way to where it won't happen, or I won't do what happened to them type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People with the entertainer personality type are quite sensitive themselves and expect their children to be respectful and considerate with what rules there are. Now, I think also I'd probably been raised similarly, and I would raise someone the same. Is that, you know, you can have fun and be wild. Chances are my child would be wild.
Yeah.
But especially if they're a boy, they're going to be off the walls, like. But at the same time, you know, be respectful, especially like as you're growing up. You know, you don't want to stay wild, even as a young
Yeah.
kid. You know, if there's a kid that's going crazy, but then they're not nice, then what's the point? Whereas at least if they're nice, you can kind of, you know, turn the other way. So yeah. Discipline wouldn't be my strongest suit, but when it comes down to it, I would. You know, I wouldn't enforce it too strongly, but there would be lines that shouldn't be crossed, you know?
Yeah. So I'm a bit more like generalized as a parent, according to this personality thing anyway, where it's like I would want to raise my child to be like almost like just like me, in the sense of I project my own beliefs and I expect them to reciprocate back the same integrity and honesty that I believe that I can show.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I kind of want the children to be independent, to kind of make their own choices and develop their own beliefs. So, like, my instinct would be like to protect. Like, there's actually a quote here. It's my instinct is to protect my children from pain, but adversity is often the thing that gives us character and backbone. So it's like, yeah, I could prevent them from doing this, but if I let them figure it out on their own, they'd be a lot better off down the line as well. I believe that's true.
Yeah, I mean, if my kid comes home, puking their guts out when they're 15 because they went bush drinking, I'm gonna be like, you shouldn't have done that, but now you know. You know,
my parents are very like that, and it's just because they know I'm hard on myself.
Yeah.
That allowed me to do a lot of great life lessons.
Like, I'll try keep them from not doing it for as long as possible, but if they come home and they're, you know, they're not meant to be drinking yet, or they drank in a bush, and they come home, I'd be like, you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, I
drink
wouldn't
some
encourage
water,
it by any
get
means,
into bed, and
but
shut up.
Yeah.
Just like, go to bed. I don't want to hear it. We'll talk in the morning if
It
you
also
want.
says here that the advocate parents tend to realize that it isn't a sign of failure if their children turned out differently than they expected. Instead, they come to see it as a sign that they've successfully helped to raise someone who has the ability to form their own ideals. Which I agree. So if I think like, oh, this child isn't a tech-savvy nerd, he likes painting or something. You know what, dude, you do you, that's sick. Go for it. It means he had the backbone to be like, nah, I hate your nerdy shit. I want to paint. And I'm like, be weird to say nerdy shit if you're painting, but okay, I like it.
I will say the only thing I wouldn't want is my child to be sporty, based off the fact that, one, I'm not, and two, the gear is overly expensive for what you get done. Now, I know you're saying, oh, but it's sport, it's good, and it's fun, and you're a team. Yeah, but have you ever bought a PC? You get way more enjoyment from a PC, personally. But I wouldn't,
in your opinion, I guess.
I wouldn't shut them down for doing things. Yeah, but PCs are like a one-off for 5 years. You have to get new boots every year.
I would sign my child up to every single hobby under the roof. You have to give them exposure. Like, I got signed up to every single sport, even though I don't hate sports, because, like, you know, I could like one.
Yeah, I mean, same. I did hurling for 2 weeks. Then I did rugby for 2 years.
Yeah, I did rugby for like 2 weeks. Did soccer for like a week. Didn't do hurling. Because I wasn't built for hurling.
And then you did like taekwondo or whatever. Like,
yeah, whatever that is. Like, what?
Like, you know, guys just kicking each other bare feet. Like, what?
Yeah, you smelly.
Yeah, that was really it I had on. That's all I really had in parenthood. I have a lot for relationships, if you want to get into that.
I suppose, yeah.
So, romantic relationships.
I
think this is all about romantic relationships.
So intimacy.
Yeah, like that's what the heading is. This is subheading, then there's only bits of this that's true. Half of it is pretty much false. So there's this paragraph that's 100% not true. Naturally, they don't spare any of this freshness and energy when dating. It's basically just saying that I need freshness all the time. For example, with the entertainer personality type, relationships aren't about slowly building foundations for the future or planning out a life. They are bubbling, unpredicted things to be enjoyed for as long as there's enjoyment to be had. Not true. I do think they're about slowly building foundations, and of course, when that enjoyment does burn out, it's gone. Entertainers reevaluate their situations and commitments constantly, regardless of professions of love and dedication today. If a week later they just don't feel the same, that's it, and entertainer personalities have no problem seriously considering breaking things off. 100% false. 100% false.
That being said, we don't need to get into the nitty gritty of justifying.
Yeah, just like, why? No,
I'm reading through this, and a big assumption they're making here is false for me.
Yeah, so. Like I'm not like the subheading is here today, gone tomorrow. No, I don't get bored of relationships and want to move on ASAP. It's not like if a week later I'm bored, I'm gone. Like, no, I'll put in the effort. Also, a lot of the time it's not down to boredom. It's more so down to a problem in the relationship than just boredom for me. But then the truth.
Yeah, I don't understand the boredom idea of it.
The truth of it, though. This is down. I think that was down to the hobby thing. Is I'm unfocused. So
yeah. I think we actually have similar things to come from with the thing. Like I have a big false, and then I think I have a big true here. I'm still in the middle of reading it, but it's cool.
So the truth of it then is that if you don't mind me saying, relationships with entertainers are simply unforgettable. People with this personality type always have some new and exciting activity up their sleeves, and they genuinely enjoy spending each moment with their partners. Entertainers enjoy physical intimacy immensely, and they prove themselves affectionate, inquisitive, and open-minded lovers who love to share pleasure with willing and reciprocate partners. I don't necessarily that means full pleasure. I think it just means pleasure. But 100%, I'm very affectionate. I definitely like physical intimacy, like even just cuddling or holding hands or anything like that, like right up my alley. I'm very, I guess you could say, like touch affectionate as well when it comes to romantic relationships now. Obviously, even the homies. I think the whole unforgettable part, it's a bit exaggerated, but I will say
kind of your personality, though, isn't it?
I will say that I don't. I pull out all the stops when it comes to relationships. You get spoiled, so unforgettable makes sense, I suppose, in that regard.
Trust me, I know.
So that part is kind of true. Yeah.
What's up? Moving on.
Go through yours, I suppose.
Yeah, sure. So, first big false assumption that they make with me here is they say they tend to take the process of finding a romantic partner seriously. So some say advocates are too choosy and they can hold out for a perfect partner that might not ever exist. Completely false. So yeah, I tend to be more of a jump in, see what happens kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's tend to have been what happens. And yeah, so then a lot of this goes on to be like looking for a match, and it's just not what's going on. But then, right, there is a real side to this, which is one of the things advocates find most important is establish genuine, deep connections with the people they care about. And I completely agree. So it's it isn't just a passive emotion, but rather an opportunity to grow and learn, and they expect their partners to share this mindset. So it's a level of intimacy that goes beyond the physical and could be more of an emotional, or in a hyperbole, spiritual connection with their partner. And they cherish not the act of being in a relationship, but also what it means to become one with the other person, mind, body, and soul. So what I'm saying by that is it's a very like I jump in. So I get what they're saying about I'm holding out for the serious person, but I do jump in and then I found person that I really connect with. But I didn't look for that initially. I found my way through it, you know?
Yeah, so you've no problem giving it a go. Like even like your initial impressions aren't looking
Oh
for
my
that
god, am I
perfect
going to spend the
person.
rest of my life with this person? Yeah, it's like I'll get there for a definite, but
Let me give this a go
right off
first,
the
and then
right off
we'll
the
look
gate.
through it. I guess that's down to your. You don't go for big visions. You kind of go for step by step.
Yeah, it's just like I see how it goes, day by day kind of thing.
Yeah. No, you're not thinking, is this the one I marry? You're thinking, is this the one that's going to be my girlfriend in a couple of weeks?
Not yeah, just being like, is this all right? Like, and then it gets it's kind of an what's the word? Exponential graph. So it's like, yeah, we'll say, whoa, wife material kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but I think that's just any relationship, especially honeymoon phase
I
type
think
thing.
so too.
You get into the
If the
honeymoon phase
relationship
and
is
then it
yeah,
stays. It stays at that kind of. If the relationship is right, then chances are it might have its chill moments, but at the same time, it's pretty much always going to be like honeymoon phase, just not as strong. Because
yeah,
obviously at that stage you're like, well, you're my girlfriend, yeah, you're my boyfriend, or whatever it may be. I don't know. We're just talking
yeah.
about it in our case.
Partner.
Partner, you're my partner. You're my partner.
Um,
Yeah, I'd say that's
yeah.
true.
So what about career paths?
I didn't read through it. I didn't take a screenshot of it or anything. I think it was just
Oh,
a load of random stuff saying that like, I matched the situation. It wasn't
yeah,
necessarily that like, specific career paths.
it's fair enough. Is there anything else to say really? Conclusion?
Yeah, conclusion. Yeah, I
Right.
have some points on the conclusion.
Okay.
Oh
my god, this is long. Oh my goodness.
I just took the first there's like a paragraph, a picture, and a paragraph. I just took the first, and there's small paragraphs. I just took the first two. True parts. Few personality types are as charming and attractive as entertainers. Now that's kind of an exaggeration. I'm not gonna. The charming part maybe. That's like a day to day. The attractive part, we'll see. Known for their ability to improvise and focus completely on the present, entertainers' energy, enthusiasm, and down to earth attitude are invaluable in many areas. Invaluable, yeah, in many areas, including their own personal growth. Part that's wrong is that I get tripped up in situations and lose my focus when it comes to finding or keeping a partner. That ain't true. But then the true parts are reaching dazzling heights on the career ladder. Yeah, I'm bad at that. Learning to plan ahead, bad at that. Entertainers need to put in a conscious effort to develop their weaker traits and additional skills. Very true.
Okay, so let me bring up something that is contradictive in this thing. So it says, unlike many other idealistic types, however, you are also capable of turning your ideals into plans and executing them. Remember, it was like you can't materialize your goals because you never plan them out.
Yeah.
Bit contradictive, but this is the side that I agree with. I do think I plan my shit out and try to get it done. And then it just kind of says that I can become frustrated when it comes to navigating interpersonal conflicts, confronting unpleasant facts.
I think what it meant there, it's not necessarily a contradiction. It's more of like it's saying that if you plan them out, you get them. You don't just get them by having this vision that this is what you want.
Right.
I think it's saying if you do the plan, it materializes. But if you don't do the plan, it won't materialize.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so say that I have trouble navigating interpersonal conflicts. Yeah, confronting unpleasant facts, pursuing self-realization, or finding a fulfilling career path. Don't know about the last one. Actually, no, I did have trouble because I stumbled into it. But I'm here, and I feel like this is a nice career path.
I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Do you still?
Oh no, not really. I have a course, but that's about it. Step by step, baby.
As a result, you may be sometimes questioning who you really are and who you're really meant to be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Confruction is not a word. Confructing, not a word. I wanted to check.
What you have read so far is just the introduction, and it represents less than 5% of what we can tell you about the advocate personality type. This is a really important thing to take into consideration here. So these things we've been reading now don't define us. It's just a very, very general basis of what it all is.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to point out the things that they got wrong, but they also got quite a lot right.
Yeah.
The percentages might not have been entirely accurate, to be fair, but in terms of the actual description of the types, they got us, I'd say, down to nearly a T.
Yeah, and they kind of this. It's you may have muttered to yourself, "They know more about me than people I'm closest to."
Oh, I saw that.
And then it says, "This is not a trick. You felt understood because you were. We've spent years studying these life stories, experiences, and responses for hundreds of our surveys, step by step." So they really went into detail with this. So I think it's just very accurate and very cool. And yeah, that's kind of it. It's just it's been a very accurate personality test, and liked it quite a lot.
Yeah,
nothing else to really say about it.
What is it? They dot the i's and cross the t's, or is it cross the t's and dot the i's?
Think about what you said. Dot the t's and cross the i's.
Dot the i's and cross the t's, or is it cross the t's and dot the i's?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, cross the t's, dot the i's.
So they crossed the t's. They crossed the t's, but they didn't dot the i's. There you go.
You remember the Ep.20 or whatever?
Yeah.
We cross the t's, dot the i's, and put you in the middle. Yeah.
Cringe.
Right.
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 Yeah, I mean, I think they got it right. I think they got mostly right. I'm
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think so too.
I'm happy with that. I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. I'm an entertainer, you're an advocate. That's pretty much it. For entertainer, or for personality test type thing.
Yeah.
Now, we could get on to the weekly dose of life advice.
Yes, sir. So Evan found this about 10 minutes before we started recording.
That's how we always do
and
it.
He gave me 3 tags to choose from of 3 different suggested tips.
You'll hear the next one next week.
I went with one, and I went with one that had to do with home and kitchen. So take it from here.
Yeah. The one next, there's only one now because, I'm gonna keep the other one for next week. There's only one because the other one's time sensitive. So, anyway, after making a smoothie, put hot water in a blender with some dish soap. Turn on high for 30 seconds. Easiest way to clean a blender. Clean your damn blenders.
Oh wait, so clean the blender with dish soap and just blend the water?
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I might actually be 200 IQ. Because we recently got a blender. By recently I mean a month and a half ago maybe. But I just the first time I used it, I had to clean it, and it wasn't too bad because it was fruit or something in it. And I was thinking, this would be really hard to clean if it was something else, maybe some dairy or something. And then I thought about it when I was why can't I just wash it using basically the fan that's in there and just spin the water around? And I did it, and it worked. And I don't think a lot of people tend to do that. So I don't know why. I just was being lazy about it and didn't want to clean it, so I ended up doing that.
Fair enough. Can't really argue with that, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's it.
Yeah.
We went through our personalities. We did all that. It only took us 1 hour and 20 minutes this time, which is smaller or shorter than last week, so not too bad. Yeah, I suppose that's it.
Yeah, okay, so I guess we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.